Right now, a new partnership between the city and a local hospital is working to ensure food security in a Madison neighborhood.
And as we get more into spring and summer months, what the Department of Natural Resources says is behind a recent fish kill on Madison lakes.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Fears that part of Madison's south side turning into a food desert are being quashed today.
The city and SSM Health are joining forces to make sure food access continues there. Our Keely Arthur joins us now with the details. Keely?
Well, the Pick and Save along Park Street is really only one of the only full-service grocery stores in the area. Frustrations arose from some after SSM Health announced it would take over the property to build a new healthcare facility. Today, SSM Health is re-emphasizing its commitment to keep food access in the area with some help from the city.
We have seen the neighborhood around the Park Street corridor and particularly around the grocery store really organize themselves.
Those neighbors vocal about their concerns over the fate of a local grocery store after SSM Health announced it was planning to take over the property currently occupied by Pick and Save and turn it into a healthcare facility. The development now a little bit easier to digest after an announcement from the mayor today.
It's a high priority for the city to make sure that people have access to healthy and affordable food. But it's also a high priority for us to keep a major employer on the Park Street corridor.
Mayor Satya Rhodes-Conway says the city plans to use a piece of city-owned land adjacent to Pick and Save to build a new full-service grocery store. And SSM Health says it will coordinate with the city to figure out a timeline on its development so that neck of Madison's woods doesn't turn into a food desert.
We're really pushing that very little of that time, if any, would not have an active grocery store.
SSM Health said in a statement, as a healthcare organization, we recognize how important access to fresh foods are for the health of our patients, neighbors, and community. We look forward to collaborating with the city of Madison and the community to move forward with a project that is in the best interest of all parties.
There may be some growing pains in the process, but I'm really hopeful actually now that in the long term, what we're going to get is something that's really positive for the community.
Now, Mayor Rhodes-Conway did point out that there are a number of locally owned ethnic food stores currently in that community, and she wants to give those some attention as well.
Crews have put out a fire at a West Side Madison apartment complex. It started this afternoon when a car caught fire in the underground parking garage at the Parkside apartment complex on Luann Lane. The fire department says it was difficult to get to because of heavy smoke. 4 vehicles were damaged, but it does not appear any apartment units were. No one was hurt. Governor Tony Evers and the head of Foxconn, Terry Go, met face-to-face for the first time today. The meeting at Mitchell Airport in Milwaukee comes after saying the Taiwanese company was looking to make changes to its agreement with the state. Well, just yesterday, Go met with President Trump at the White House. Foxconn has repeatedly said it remains committed to investing $10 billion and employing 13,000 people in Wisconsin.
All right, trying to shake some of these dreary weather days. A look at our first alert forecast now with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary?
Well, it would help if we could get rid of the clouds, and right now that's just not the case. You can see on visible cloud track that the clouds are still pretty widespread. Even in areas where the clouds have tried to thin out a little bit, you can see how the clouds kind of are filling back in. Right now temperatures are generally on the cool side. We've got mostly cloudy skies and the rain showers are moving out into Lake Michigan. Low temperatures this morning starting out around 40 here in Madison. To the west, a little bit milder. Right now temperatures are at their high temperatures for the day. Here in Madison we're at 53 degrees. Temperatures are still in the 40s closer to Lake Michigan. And as we check out our day planner for tomorrow, look for cloudy skies. Some areas of fog early tomorrow morning, but we'll see a slightly milder day tomorrow with a high of 60. Just an outside chance for an afternoon shower. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
Gary, thank you. Beloit police say they are one step closer to figuring out who provided the drugs that led to an overdose death last year.
This past December, a woman died after taking fentanyl-laced heroin. Rock County reporter Adam Duxter joins us from our bureau at the Janesville Gazette with the latest in the case. Adam?
Well, Charlotte and Eric, police say Chaz Harris could be the person responsible. According to a criminal complaint earlier in December, a woman was found in her car in the Woodman's parking lot in Beloit. Now, she was found already unresponsive and was pronounced dead at the scene. A toxicology report later revealed the cause of her death. Police Chief David Zabalski says this arrest just the beginning of fighting the opioid problem in the city of Beloit.
That person there is a street-level delivery person. And if we aren't going and getting the larger supplier and shutting down the ability for the product to be on the street, it's not as effective as we would like.
Zabalski says the city of Beloit has responded to over 140 overdose calls since the beginning of 2017, and out of that group, a group of 20 have taken responsibility for multiple of those overdoses. And Harris is scheduled to appear in an adjourned initial appearance tomorrow at Rock County Court at 3 p.m.
Adam Dexter in the Rock County Bureau tonight. Adam, thank you. The city of Middleton is paying its respects to an officer who lost her battle with cancer. A procession and funeral was held today for the late Katie Barrios, who died last week after a 2.5-year battle with an aggressive form of brain cancer. The governor ordered flags to be flown at half-staff today in her honor.
If you're planning on taking advantage of the nice weather this weekend by going fishing, you might want to pay attention to the shoreline. The DNR says it has received about a dozen calls in the last week or so with people reporting dead fish. Jamie Perez has the details about the possible reasons behind it.
Well, if you've been keeping up with the forecast this week, you know that this weekend is supposed to be potentially gorgeous. Perfect weather for fishing, in fact. But the DNR says while you're out here, you might notice something in the water, and that's a bunch of dead fish. Dozens of dead fish are lining the Winger Creek shoreline right now. It's something Derek Benoist noticed on his daily walk and said it was jarring to see.
Walk out here pretty much every day, so it happened pretty much overnight, so it was a little alarming to me to see all these fish just on the shore.
He called the DNR not knowing what was causing this.
Kind of thought it was due to human involvement.
David Rowe with the DNR said it's not from a chemical dumping like you might think. This actually happened naturally.
It's a bacteria that's naturally occurring because we've had this real weird spring weather where it's been warm and then cool and warm and cool and then we get rain. The fish that are hanging out in shallow areas like little lagoons or side channels are experiencing that variability, and so they're kind of getting stressed out, and that leads them to be susceptible to this bacteria.
The bacteria and ever-changing temperatures is hard on the fish. This is just one of the pictures sent to the DNR reporting on this.
I looked on one side and then saw the fish on one side, then I checked the other side and there was about the same amount on both sides. And I walked further along the path and just kept seeing more and more fish.
They're all bluegills. Rose said it's actually common to see dead fish appear even by the dozens when the weather fluctuates so much, especially after such a harsh winter.
It was a relief to know that it wasn't like due to chemicals.
While you can always report a group of dead fish to the DNR, they say the only time you really need to worry is when
you see hundreds of dead fish.
For now, don't be too alarmed if you see this on your next fishing trip. In Madison, I'm Jamie Perez for News 3 Now.
Still ahead tonight, thanks to a group of veterinarians, a local police K-9 is getting back to work.
We'll go inside the operating room in this News 3 Now exclusive coming up next.
Compared to your standard house pet, canine officers are exposed to a lot more things that could end with an injury.
The problem is, once they're hurt, they can't do what they're trained to do, protect people like us. Only Danica Lewis has more on a program that's getting those dogs back to work. Danica?
Well, a lot of people across the state have been pulling for this guy right here. That's Pyro. He's the canine up in Green Bay who was recently stabbed multiple times trying to take down a suspect. After multiple surgeries, he is back at the department and doing well. He is on light duty. Well, a special group of veterinarians at UW-Madison has helped nearly 60 agencies throughout Wisconsin to make sure their four-legged officers are ready to serve when they're needed. One of those brave boys in uniform is Riker, this handsome guy right here. And it's safe to say that his bite is worse than his bark. At least now it is.
He's one of the calmer of the group that they deal with.
Iowa County Deputy Chris DeWitt
He just doesn't like sitting still.
is a little better at masking his pre-surgery jitters.
There's a risk for every time that they have to put him under.
It's been about a month since he was last in the waiting room,
His upper canine broke off
wrangling his
about
partner,
halfway.
Riker.
A lot of what he does is his ability to pick it up or want to pick it up. Poor guy. Their teeth health is great priority for him. Feeling heavy, aren't you?
They're very bonded, just as most people are with their pets, but it's almost at a different level. This is the quietest we've ever seen him.
If I submit it works and then it hits that, can I change it? Or I just have to tell them oxygen saturation?
This cramped surgery space at the UW Veterinary Care Center is where Riker got his root canal. This time,
Let's trial fit these.
he'll get personalized, chromed out crowns.
That sort of biting and pulling, I mean, that's his job. So we're using the crowns to sort of help, hopefully avoid the same fate for these other teeth.
That's his doctor,
Ready, Freddie?
Amy Thompson.
We'll talk about the canines being like their fingers, so that's how they pick stuff up.
She came to the UW specifically for the dentistry program. It was a plus to be able to fix canines.
Good, okay. Definitely like Riker and our other canine officers that we see. I mean, that's so important for the job that they do. Or, you know, we have therapy dogs that help pick things up for their owners that can't on their own. There's a little less blue core on 304 than I remember.
Dr. Thompson and her team learn most of what they know from textbooks on human teeth.
We wanted to ideally have that crown all supra-gingival.
So the work being done here doubles as research on what makes this mouth different than ours.
So this one that was fractured, and the fracture was along the mesial aspect, so we had to do the whole crown.
The center also offers discounted procedures for four-legged law enforcement. Otherwise, their bosses might not have the budget for a procedure like this.
It's amazing the stuff that we can do to hold on to those teeth and preserve them.
Hours later, Riker's back to, well, being Riker. Ready to go, only flashing a much flashier grin.
They can continue to work and, you know, save lives and do the things that they do.
Handsome boy right there. All right, you just saw the tight quarters those surgeons were working in. So if you even try to schedule a teeth cleaning for your pet, you'll be waiting until the fall for an appointment. The Veterinary Care Center is raising nearly $40 million right now to expand its current facilities, which could mean more space for the dentistry program. And of course, we have that information up on channel3000.com.
Really interesting look into how that whole surgery happened.
Yeah, it's kind of unnerving seeing a dog upside down in surgery,
Right.
but then you kind of get used to it and think, oh, we lay on our backs for surgery as well. And of course, he was super happy to get out of there too.
Great to have you on the night side with us,
It's
Danica.
good to be on this side of the clock.
Good to see you. Still ahead tonight, he is one of the last of his kind in the entire Midwest.
When we come back, we'll meet a local man helping the environment by fixing broken things the old-fashioned way.
And Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti will rejoin us as we get ready for a warm-up this weekend. Your full forecast just ahead.
If you're like most people, you probably just replace a broken or worn out appliance rather than getting it repaired. The manufacturers like that. Our landfills, though, don't.
Well, last year in Madison alone, people threw out more than 326 tons of electronics. We've become a throwaway society, but it wasn't always like that. People used to actually get things fixed. Problem these days is finding someone to fix an appliance or lamp. Enter Kiefer Appliance on Monona Drive. Wayne's been in the repair business for decades now, and his son Kip has taken over the reins now. This shop is the only one like it in the upper Midwest, so customers ship things to be fixed from all over the country.
If we didn't have the mail, we'd be in trouble.
So there's a need.
Oh, there's a need, yeah. But like I say, if we could get parts, we could fix a lot more things. But we just can't get the parts.
Now, Wayne says the customer base tends to be a bit older, mostly people who are used to getting something fixed rather than simply tossing it out. Tonight on News 3 Now at 10, our Mark Kane tells us more about the Kiefer's business and how we can all help our planet by getting things fixed.
Chief Meteorologist Gary Canolti joins us now with a look at our improving forecast.
Slowly but surely. You know, it's baby steps every day, but we are starting to turn the corner a little bit. Visible cloud track, lots of clouds again today, no different than the last few days. Notice the clouds trying to break up a bit out to the west, but then they kind of fill back in because there's enough moisture around that we get some low clouds and fog to develop, especially as we get cooler at night. So that'll be the case tonight. And I'm not expecting too much in the way of sunshine for tomorrow. But on Doppler track, you can see the last of the showers moving out into Lake Michigan from southeastern Wisconsin. There are a few light showers up to the north in Minnesota that will stay to our north. So we're looking for just an outside chance for a shower tomorrow, but a better chance for dry weather Saturday and most of Sunday. Computer models beginning on early Sunday afternoon showing some light precipitation to our north and west, but we could see a shower or thunderstorm chance Sunday afternoon and then rain chances Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday before ending on Thursday. And the U.S. GFS computer model showing generally around an inch to an inch and a half, maybe locally 2 inches of rain during that time period. The European computer model, very similar in the precipitation amounts that it puts out there, somewhere between about 1 and 2 inches over much of southern Wisconsin, maybe some locally heavier amounts if there are some heavier thunderstorms. That's more likely far to the south in Illinois and Iowa because that's where the atmosphere will be a little bit more unstable. Again, we'll be on the cool side with the easterly winds keeping our temperatures in the 50s, so that's, I suppose, one good piece of news. Time-lapse of the Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville. You can see the clouds that we've had this afternoon. Not much in the way of breaks. Every once in a while, you pick one out there. The live view from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam showing mostly cloudy skies, but every once in a while, you see a tiny little patch of blue that shows up there. The WISC Skycam looking off toward the west, maybe a little poke in the clouds there of some sunshine, but other than that, skies are mostly cloudy. Edgewater Skycam looking toward the southeast. That's looking away from the sun, and skies are mostly cloudy. High today, 53 degrees. That's a 2-degree improvement over yesterday. 41, the overnight low temperature. That's stayed the same the last 3 days. And right now, we're at our high for the day of 53 with mostly cloudy skies. Winds are out of the north at 7 miles per hour. Checking out temperatures across our part of the Midwest are mainly in the 50s away from Lake Michigan. Notice the lake cool air near Milwaukee keeping temperatures in the lower 40s there. But as we check out the weather around the country, that strong jet stream brings periods of showers and thunderstorms, problems with flooding all the way down into parts of Texas and Oklahoma, as well as severe weather. But we're just on the northern fringes of the storm. So we get the clouds, but we don't get a lot of the precipitation. That's closer to the stationary front that divides the warmer air farther to the south and the cooler air from where we are here. Mostly cloudy skies overnight, some areas of fog developing, low temperature dropping to 40. Tomorrow, another cloudy day, just a slight chance for a shower in the afternoon, but our high temperature, a few degrees warmer at 60 degrees. As we look at the future track computer model forecast, again, cloudy skies, some areas of fog overnight, low temperature around 40, highs tomorrow around 60 with cloudy skies through the afternoon. But then we clear out tomorrow night. That will actually allow temperatures to drop into the upper 30s by early Saturday morning, and then Saturday we'll look for plenty of sunshine, high temperatures mid to upper 60s. Rainfall amounts very, very light for anything that does develop tomorrow. 7 to 10 day forecast. Once we get back into the early part of next week, the rain chances come back and the temperatures go down. Even toward the end of next week, high temperatures only remaining around 60 degrees.
It's just the biggest phone call of your life. No big deal. One former Wisconsin All-American answered the phone, and that's why it's a tease. Sports is next. The Brewers spent most of their offseason war chest on catcher Yasmani Grandal and infielder Mike Moustakas. They didn't spend much on pitching, which can be a problem. Now, it's still early, but the Brewers last in the NL in total pitching. Freddie Peralta wanted to be somewhere else this afternoon. Bases loaded for former Brewer Mark Reynolds. He clears them to give the Rockies a 3-0 lead. They were just getting started. Top of the second, Nolan Arenado did it last night, did it this afternoon. 2-run shot makes it 7 rip. Peralta, 4 innings, 8 hits, 9 runs. Rockies win 11-6. The Brewers host the Mets this weekend. Last year, the home team won every game of the Bucks-Celtics playoff series, and that's already out the window, and the Bucks feel confident already. They won a game in Boston earlier this year. One more practice at home today before traveling to Boston tonight. Giannis said, they kicked our butt in game 1, we kicked their butt in game 2. He thinks the rest of the series will go to the team that just plays hard.
Who's going to have the will to do the little things, to box out, to run, to defend his own guy, to rebound the ball, to dive on the floor. It's going to be the little things that go win this series. So hopefully we can be the team that put that extra effort in.
If we're getting better, then everything will kind of fall into place. And it's kind of just my philosophical approach. That's the goal, is just to get better every day. And if you're doing those things, you'll feel good about where you are.
Celtics president Danny Ainge had a mild heart attack Tuesday night. The 60-year-old former All-Star and NBA champion also had one in 2009. According to the team, Ainge got immediate medical attention and is expected to be fine. Today, head coach Brad Stevens said it's certainly scary, but his boss is feeling good. Again, Game 3 tomorrow in Boston. A big move from former Wisconsin hockey star and 3-time Olympic medalist Hillary Knight and more than 200 pro hockey players. They will not play in a professional league next season. A statement tweeted by Knight said the players won't play in any pro league in North America until they get the necessary resources that pro hockey deserves. Low pay and the lack of health insurance are 2 issues that have plagued the NWHL. It's the only pro league in North America. Well, the Women's World Cup roster dropped today. Former Badger star Rose Lavelle in. It's her first World Cup and first major international tournament. The self-proclaimed Chipotle addict has 6 goals in 24 international appearances. 12 of the 23 players were on the team that won it all in 2015. World Cup 2019 kicks off this summer in France. The U.S. opens against Thailand on June 11th. Watch this guy in the Dodgers jersey playing the San Francisco Giants. Foul ball number 1. He loses the garlic fries, but gets the ball. Same game. Another one comes his way. This time he has nachos, loses the nachos, and loses the ball. Wow. So I don't know what the trade-off you'd make there. Do you want the fries? Do you want the...
That's San Francisco, too. That's like $80 worth of food.
He lost the nachos and the fries, and who else got them? The people sitting around him.
Yeah, and then he just gets the one ball. So, yeah.
Final check of the forecast, Gary.
Memories.
Well, cloudy skies continue. The showers moving out of southern Wisconsin. A little fog over southeastern Wisconsin. We'll see some patchy fog overnight. Temperatures as warm as they've been in the last few days, but only in the low 50s. We should be in the mid 60s. Look for high temperatures back in the upper 60s by the weekend. Then rain chances next week will cool us down again for a few days.
All right, Gary, thank you. And thank you for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
Enjoy your evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.